Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Rational Investor Bitcoin summary here for YouTube. We haven't done one of these in a while, so I thought maybe I would take some time this morning. Things are a little quiet in my neck of the woods right now. As you can see, Bitcoin price kind of going sideways here, so things have settled down a little bit. Thought I'd just take a few minutes, touch base with the YouTube audience. I haven't really done anything for you guys lately, and I suppose the Reddit audience as well. This is our website, therationalinvestor.co. It's a very cute little cryptocurrency site. So if you are interested in learning about what we do, feel free to stop on by. Basically, I have a blog and a live trading room here, as well as a school for those people that are interested in learning about how we trade markets for a living, and I guess managing yourself appropriately in the market. That's this link here, the School for Bitcoin Trader Development. As well, you guys should know, we do have a tutorials page here, which is free. Anybody can access it. So if you want to learn about any of the stuff that I talk about in my videos, a lot of the tutorials and videos that I've done for the tutorials are just sitting there on that page. So, you're more than welcome to pop in any old time you want. This is our crypto live room. I have basically our full BTC review videos for members here. You can see, a nice long listing of all the videos that members can watch here at their discretion. As well, we also embed these YouTube videos here so you guys can watch this. The real value in this site, especially if you're a gold member, is our chat room. Basically, I'm in here whenever I'm watching the market or whatever. I'm in here talking with site members and and people who are interested in learning about the program. But a lot of these are students and regular site members that I talk to on a daily basis. You're more than welcome to come into this. It's actually a free room on tradingview.com. So if you are interested in learning about our services and what we do, you're more than welcome to pop into the into this chat room, and just see what I'm thinking. Understand, of course, that this is a dovetail to the the goal at the very minimum, the gold site membership. And so basically, hopefully you can appreciate that, after a few days of you being in this chat room, you're probably going to be asked whether you'd like to join the site or not. So just keep that in mind. What we've seen here, if we zoom out, I like to look at the 6-hour chart, but what I actually do here typically, I wonder if that means I have terrible internet connection here. I'm getting little notices that my connection is cutting in and out, so we may have lost the audio there. It's tough to say. If I did, it does come back on its own after a bit. So we'll just have to deal with Google Hangouts the way it is, and hopefully we can, persevere. Anyway, I was just, I don't know whether we lost audio there or not, but I was just reviewing sort of what I'm watching in Bitcoin here and what I've been doing. This is our panic low, and I'm running right now this PAM account on the live page, or actually, and you can see it, I think, on the front page here. This PAM account, we've got a little long position on, and yeah, we're up a little bit of money right now, so we're feeling pretty good about that. In the site, in the school, we call it the little old lady from Pasadena strategy, because this PAM service and the BTECE service, the commissions are just horrific. So because of that, you really just cannot justify trading a heck of a lot here. Really, if anything, I have to concentrate on higher time frames. And as you can see, this is a 6-hour chart that I'm working right now off of this, and it seems to be working fairly well for her now. It took me probably about 3 or 4 months of doing little penny ante trades and getting ripped apart by BTC's commissions to realize what time frame and what setups we have to concentrate for her on. So this is 6 hour. This is about the absolute minimum I'll go down for her. And right now she's got, this just sort of outlines how we did an optimal trade entry sweet spot long here back in October, the end of October, we bought here. And what's interesting is there was a whole bunch of little setups that all fired, and these different setups we talk about in the course and on the site. Regular site members are familiar with them. But I like to put little icons here where whenever we get a setup that fires a signal. So, we had a couple of pretty good looking buy setups come in here, and sure enough, we traded it up. Took profits on these red lines according to the OTE model. The target should be a test to the top of the range, so we took some profits there. As well, we had a bull ABCD. That was hit, so we took some profits at that target as well, and that's what these notations are. But that's old news. That's not the current market. Excuse me. So current market here, same sort of idea. We had basically a bottom, a big rally, a pullback, and these green rectangles, hopefully you sort of have come to recognize that there are OTE zones. There's a red one denoting the OTE short zone right now. And here is our OTE sweet spot icon, the little rocket ship. And the little jet fighter, that's for our Hollywood Nick, because he's a slick gunfighter, American. He's probably going to watch this video and laugh, but anyway, he's our top gun Hollywood Nick, having a smoke and getting all the ladies kind of guy. Anyway, so these setups came in just very similar to the way they did back here. Nice, nice action. We rallied up to, you can see here, 30. Where are we here? We have so many fibs on the chart here. If we draw the fib from the low back to the high, you can see how we rallied back to 38.2. And we call this our first stop target. It's very normal for the market to do. And ultimately, again, we're using the same principle here. And now, TradingView, it's cool. You get these little sort of trade outline tools. Basically, we're going to buy the OTE sweet spot and we're going to risk down to the bottom end of the range, and our potential reward is the top end of the range. You can see that it sets up a risk reward ratio of 2.14 to 1, which is perfectly acceptable to me. I really like to consider trades that have at least 2 to 1 risk reward, so that's fine. And so really, as you can see by the green shaded area, this trade's in the money a little bit, so we're feeling pretty optimistic and positive. It was in the money quite a bit more. Thankfully, we really haven't had to take too much heat on this trade. I am, according to the model setup, I am willing to take heat on this thing all the way down to here. And, sadly, we just might have to see that, and that's just sort of the way the market goes. Basically, this is my trading plan as I outlined to students in the course material, is to take OTEs, and so basically I took it. What was interesting is just last week, and I noticed that, for about 3 or 4 weeks, Bitcoin was spitting up buy signals every Saturday. But I did notice that just this past week, this was the rally peak to the 38.2. Usually, if we call it the first stop target, if it's rejected, right, and we actually break down, then it's a pretty negative commentary on the whole market in general. Like this failure here at 38.2, if we collapsed here, would be a pretty bad sign. And really, this is my risk reward on the trade, and I'm going to live with those numbers. But if we do start breaking down to historic lows, really, I don't have any business staying in the trade. I don't, because of CRY's 2 rules of investing, I'm not risking more than 5% of our stake in the cryptocurrency market on this trade. So I'm just very comfortable to take this risk level on this position. I thought it was interesting that the pullback off the 38.2, I wanted to finish that. Look where it stopped, right on OTE sweet spot. So technically speaking, we could actually put in another little rocket ship here. And it was interesting, on this day that it happened, This was actually so textbook. It was absolutely incredible. And I was tweeting about it, if you guys follow my Twitter feed. And I recommend that you follow my Twitter feed because this is probably a really good way for you just to keep an eye on what generally it is that I'm thinking. But that tweet that I put out, let's see where it is. Here it is. It was on November 28th. I said, you couldn't write a better script. Momentum and volume breakout through OTE and New York kill zone. And the chart just looked like this. There is that OTE. This happens to be the Phoenix chart. And the market just took off on a dime. Bullish momentum divergence. Not bad Willie condition, volume confirmation, nice bottom on OBV. And that was, from day trader perspective, that was just one heck of a buy. And it was just beautiful. And an excellent demonstration of the OTE sweet spot principle. Just getting back to our current story here. That market reversed, right? And when zooming back up, you could, if you did a fib off of this low to this high, gee whiz, what a coincidence. This is OTE here. And, really, this has just been one heck of a slog here, right? But really, market's just not doing a heck of a lot. Keep in mind, this is a 6-hour chart, right? So, we popped up. You could even argue after this bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 times 6, so that's good. Like, it's a lot, right? It's, I guess, 120 hours, right? So what's that? That's like, 4 days, right? It's a long time that we've just sort of been sitting here. It's interesting. We're, giving you this video right now. Everybody and their brother got all excited last night in the sort of Bitcoin chat room that they have here on TradingView about this breakout here. Through this trend line, but as you can see, it's come back to the trend line, then tried to rally away from it, and here we are back, boom, right on this trend line. So I'm not totally convinced that we're ready to go here. Technically speaking, one site member and I went, through their tutorials and working with them one-on-one through the course. We came up with a setup we call the Ron Jeremy setup, which is kind of amusing. But anyway, it's sort of an inside joke. But he basically is going to look on this confirmed breakout right here. He's going to hunt for a nice W pattern on top of the trend line. And this is literally going to be his risk on the trade. So, if this breakout had come in and then put in a nice W, then away he goes. He has a nice trade, and there's his risk management window. Very fine-tuned trading. Really, really high-octane trading. I'm very impressed with Nicholas. He's done an excellent job. But as you can see, it just didn't happen. We went back below the trend line, then rallied back to the trend line, then backed off, then broke through it. So here comes Ron Jeremy again. Problem here is, now if I see this correctly, here is the trend line breakout, and this bar did close above the trend line, so that's encouraging. So we've come down, we rallied up. If we had come back down, tested that low, and then turned up, hello, Ron Jeremy, right? Which is so funny because really, it has absolutely nothing to do with Ron Jeremy. Like I said, it's a total inside joke. But anyway, the problem here is on this last bar here, right? The low is 372.10. And this bar's low is 373. So now we don't have a W. We actually have an M working, right? So that wipes out, potential buy setups. And, I guess I'll just finish off this video today. If we go down and look at the lower time frames, and this is 1 hour Phoenix, we draw a fib off of this high back down to this low, right? Here's the optimal trade entry on that setup. And here was the previous one. Remember, I tweeted about how you just couldn't write a better setup there, right? And that led to that rally. Here's that trend line again. Here was the breakout last night. And, you know, it's good to see Phoenix hasn't not put in this nasty top that BTCE has. So hopefully maybe BTC is just a one-off. But, you know, here's the, you know, if we drew a fib, and actually this low, oh, that's 161. I'm not quite sure why I have that on there. If we do an OTE just off of this low up to the breakout high last night, notice we came right back down into the OTE here, right? And I actually drawn this sort of support line along this trend line. So I figured that that's where the market needed to come back. So we basically did that overnight. We've rallied up and tested this high. And, you know, the irony of it all is if we drill down to like a 15-minute chart, you know, this is probably right in here, an OTE off of this range, right? And now we've come back down to these lows, right? Volume appears to be waning here, so maybe the sellers are running out of ammunition. There's also a price gap on the chart here. So, you know, when I look at this, I mean, what I see is basically a ranging market. Lots of ranging within ranging within ranging, right? I don't think we have like really clear direction. And if I look back at BTCE here, you know, I don't really see like major breakdowns like, oh my God, you know, baby out with the bathwater. I'm a bit concerned that the volume here, you notice that we have a little bit of a volume top here, and boom, that was confirmed there. And then this breakout last night that everybody in BTC chat room was getting all excited about here on TradingView, you can see it didn't come on much volume, right? I mean, this is kind of anemic. We really need to see higher highs and higher lows on the green bars, right? And right now we're getting lower highs and lower lows. If we look at the red bars to see what the seller impetus is, this bar here is 1.63 coins, this bar here 1.39, this bar here 1.59. If this bar breaks 1.63, right, then that'll be higher highs on the down bars. So that would mean that the bears are starting to come out of hibernation. So this candle probably, you know, it's kind of, well, let's see, it's this candle ended at 4. What time is this? This is set to Pacific Standard Time, so that must have started at 4 o'clock and ended at 10 a.m. It's now 12:45, or better part of 1 o'clock. So this candle's about halfway over, right? So still has another 3 hours to see what you're going to look like. My hunch is in the next 3 hours, it's probably going to do more than 1.63 K coins, right? Right now it's at 1.59. So it's probably going to break that. Does this candle end red? If it does, and you can see OBV, right, it's looking awfully toppy here, all right? MACD, you know, just not really much of a story. You know, if anything, I would say this wedge is getting tighter and tighter. Willie, you know, never got stupid, so we don't have to worry about that, but it is giving a little toppy indicator here. You know, because of the power of this trend line and how many times it was played with, my hunch is that if we can't like punch through this trend line, we're probably just going to ride it down. Right, and then if we look at the lower time frames, you know, there's that same trend line. You know, we might, it's very realistic, we might just follow this trend line all the way down to the OTE, right? And what a coincidence, the apex of these two significant trend lines is right in the optimal trade entry zone. That's a totally realistic scenario. What I am seeing, right, is we came down, tested OTE. We're now going to test that again. You know, BTCE, for example. Maybe let's look at the 1 hour there. Oops. So BTCE is 1 hour. There's that top that we can see on the 6 hour, right? And it'll be confirmed, either that break there and then another one with a break there. There's the OTE. Look at this. I mean, this is such a cool testament to volume profile. Look how OTE is here, and this notch. This is what's called a notch in the profile, where basically it's kind of like a hole in the price. And for some reason, price didn't really trade, didn't even really want to trade there. And we have a simple adage that notches like to be filled in. So if I was looking for a target here, OTE and notch equals pretty high probability. We do have this range working as well, and that's that OTE. And remember, I told you earlier we had just this incredible OTE sweet spot tag there. This is trend line here on 1 hour. You could see we could get counter trend rallies back up into here. But if we start double topping here, especially double top within a double top, I mean, look at our momentum indicators. I mean, they're not happy at all, right? So I just, I can't see a big monster rally here. The MACD itself looking a little toppy. Right, bang, bang, bang. Willie didn't get stupid, thank heavens. But definitely you can see a little market structure top right in there in Willie right there. Bang, 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 right? And of course, look at the volume, right? So OBV breaking to new lows here. Big chunky bars. Not really a great thing to see here. It's 10 minutes, I suppose, to the New York close. So we're probably seeing position squaring heading into the end of the New York session. Long and short of it here, as I said, from a trading perspective, what I'm running on the site right now, I'm trading off this higher time frame. I'm not even in the slightest bit concerned about price right now. We're just sort of along the path here. I could very easily see price come back down into this wedge. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I could also see price just sort of ride the top of this wedge here. That wouldn't surprise me at all either. Anyway, so all you guys out in YouTube land and on Reddit land, I hope you've enjoyed this offering. Frankly, I don't know how long it's been, but it was kind of a fun experience doing it for you. And feel free to pop on by the site. We'd love to see you. And of course, we'd love to have you come be a part of our community. So all the best. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.